what that is. I guess I should put this on here. Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday. My name is Jennifer Waters, and I'm part of the CNY fertility team here. I'm an acupuncturist and certified light therapist. And today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about synthetic versus natural supplementation. One of my many interests when it comes to health and how the body is designed to repair itself. And if that is not what is happening, what could be the problem? And how can we accelerate to get you to perfect health now? Sometimes the way to perfect health is by removing that which is no longer serving us to achieve the perfect health that we want, right? So sometimes we have to eliminate the foods we're eating or the other things that would be contributing to us feeling anything less than love, less than light. So in the past 20 years or so, I really have done a deep dive into the vitamin industry. And it's a sad state of affairs. It really is, because we've been taught to think vita, which means life, min to support, that we are going to be supporting our life and our vitality by taking vitamins. And unfortunately, that is not necessarily the case. Years ago, I used to be a member of this Consumer Labs, it was called, and it was a membership-based site, and you could pay a fee and put in the brand name of whatever you were taking, and they had independent researchers go in and test the product to see if it matched the label, and it was shocking. Most of the companies did not. The label did not match what was actually inside the product. So a little surprising, right? You would think with all of these stringent restrictions of the FDA and everything that the label would have to reflect what the ingredients were, and that was not found to be the case. So that's a little bit disturbing. The other thing that's a little bit disturbing is when you understand how the body is designed to absorb nutrients, primarily the food we eat, right? What do we digest and absorb? Protein, fats, and carbohydrates. Those are the three things that we digest and absorb. Well, digest. We absorb minerals and other micronutrients, but when you understand how that process occurs in the body, you realize that that has nothing to do, it's a very different than looking at the labels of bottles that have things like 10,000 IUs of vitamin D. And how does that translate in your body in terms of actually being absorbed? I'm sure a lot of you have had issues with that. Like, no matter how much vitamin D I take, my levels still aren't going up. Well, it's because the product that you're taking hasn't been formulated for you to be absorbed. It's been formulated for the label. And that is a big problem. So I put together this little slideshow for you so I can remember what to talk about. And I was inspired by an article that I read in Central New York's healthcare newspaper. It's called In Good Health. And this was a story that was published in August of 2024. And it said that the study finds that multivitamins won't help you live longer. In fact, we found that daily multivitamin use versus non-use was associated with a 4% higher mortality death risk. So what does that tell you, folks? People that are taking these multivitamins die at a 4% higher rate than other people. So, yeah. So then most people think, oh my God, vitamins are killing me. Yes, they are. But it's the quality, it's the nature of the vitamins that you're taking that's the problem. So what you have to do is look at your label and make sure that what you're taking is whole food-based complexes, right? Food-based complexes, which I know that molecular fertility is. So these are products that have been formulated to be absorbed by you, and they will not contribute to your early death risk. So thank gosh. So in particular, vitamin E, well, before we get into that, I just want to say, let me see if I can actually go on to the next little slide here, if you can see it. Okay. What are vitamins and why are we taking them? So basically, vitamins, like I said, they're synthetically created. And when they are synthetically created, they act as drugs in the body. So sometimes we have to take drugs, right? And so they do very extreme things in the body. They are designed to create an extreme change in order for a specific benefit. That is not why we should be taking vitamins. Vitamins or supplements should be bridging the nutritional gap and should be reparative. So if you are taking a supplement for your thyroid, let's say, not a drug, but a supplement that's designed to help your thyroid, this should be taken for a specific amount of time until your thyroid repairs itself. And once your thyroid or your thymus gland or your pancreas or your ovaries or adrenals have repaired themselves and you have removed the inhibition, whatever was causing it to break down in the first place, then you should be good to go. You should not have to take things indefinitely, except, vitamin D is the big one that we debate. And certainly it would depend on where you live and how often you're outside and all of that. So whole food complex nutrients act as a physiological supporting nutrient. So we're looking to support the physiological processes in the body, right? So naturally occurring complexes are very different from the synthetic crystalline vitamins in so many ways, especially when we're talking about vitamin C and vitamin E. Pretty much everyone I see in the fertility world, when I ask you, well, what are you taking? Vitamin E is always on the list, vitamin C, vitamin D, magnesium, CoQ10, all of these. So when you're going to choose which ones to buy, I want you to really look at the label and try to look for whole food complexes, okay? Why? Because what happens when you take like vitamin C, for example, if the label says that it is ascorbic acid, first of all, that's not exactly true. Ascorbic acid is one part of the vitamin C. It's the part that's the most fibrous, and therefore it's the easiest to extract out of the vitamin C complex. And so they're taking a part out of the whole, and they're saying this is vitamin C. It's lying by omission, right? It's part of the vitamin C, so we can call it vitamin C, but it's not the whole story of the vitamin C complex. So it is a lying by omission situation here. So what does that mean for you? It means that these specifically isolated nutrients, when they're not combined with the necessary enzymes and cofactors needed for absorption, not only will you not absorb it, so you're receiving absolutely no benefit from it, but the body will compensate by taking from the tissue, which is you, the host, in order for it to occur, if that makes sense. So the body receives this, things go into the bowel wall, right? And that's where they're absorbed into the lining of the small intestine. And the body says, oh, wow, this is a lot of this specific nutrient. And we want to absorb this. We want to do something with this. It's going to be beneficial, but it's just out here on its own. So we're going to have to draw from the body in order to make it a more absorbable form, if that makes sense. So you're literally taking more than you're giving, and that's never a good thing. So wheat germ oil versus vitamin E. Okay, so a lot of you know that my special interest in the fertility world, is ovarian function and also preventing miscarriage. And how can we do that? So wheat germ oil is one of the longest studied oils out there. It is gluten-free for those of you that are gluten-free. And there's been a lot of interesting studies that go back to the 1940s of using wheat germ oil to prevent, at that time, what they called spontaneous abortion, which is pregnancy loss, obviously. So vitamin E has the same principle. If you're just taking alpha tocopherol as vitamin E, you are missing out on all of the other tocopherols. This isolated form of vitamin E is not going to wake up your ovaries to produce the sex hormones that you need. The vitamin E that you need, the ideal form is wheat germ oil, which is going to supply the nutrients to your ovaries so that they can start producing the hormones that you need to enhance your overall fertility and, in particular, to prevent miscarriage. So remember, if what you are taking is not repairing or supporting you to self-correct, to heal yourself, then stop taking it. Okay. A lot of you have been taking these supplements for 6 months, 3 months, 9 months, 2 years, a long time. So I want you to stop and think, do I feel a difference? Have I noticed? Do I have more cervical mucus? Are there any changes in my cycle? Is my ovulation more on time now? Is my luteal phase a good amount of time? Is my follicular phase a good amount of time? These are the ways that we know that the body is self-correcting, right? So this study was done in 1943. It says natural forms of vitamin E complex lose up to 99% of their potency when separated from their natural synergists. Okay, so this is another case where if you're just taking alpha tocopherol, one of the 5 tocopherols of vitamin E, you're losing 99% of its potency by doing that. So just simply find a better. And the thing that I love about wheat germ oil is it's really affordable. It's $12. The stuff that I recommend is $12 for a bottle. And the other thing about it is that you can use it vaginally if you have vaginal dryness. I do. I put it up there and it's just dissolves. It's good stuff. You can also use it on your face. I open up the little ampule, the little capsule with the oil, and put that on my skin. I love it. And it has a little tint to it. So it's kind of a nice little color. So, let me go on to the next slide. So natural vitamin E, I already said that. So the vitamin E complex is surrounded by the protective antioxidant tocopherols and includes vitamin E2, which is good for oxygenating the blood, vitamin E3, unsaturated fatty acids, F1 and F2, selenium, coenzyme Q10, and more. So that's the other thing. It's when you take things in its whole complex form, you're getting all of these things at once. So you don't have to take all of these separated, isolated nutrients to sort of make up for the disintegration of what should be a whole food form. When vitamin E slowly becomes alpha tocopherol, the inherent ability to absorb and utilize this essential fat soluble nutrient is lost. So when it comes to taking anything, it's always about absorption. And I can tell you, one of the things I've recently learned is absolutely essential for absorption is bile. You really want to make sure, no matter what nutritional program you're on, that you are getting a lot of bile out of your gallbladder and your liver. We know the gallbladder stores the bile. It releases it on demand, and the liver is producing it as well. The liver produces it and sends it to the gallbladder. We need that bile to absorb things well in the duodenum, the beginning of the small intestine. Okay, so vitamin E and fertility, what are the benefits? Vitamin E complex is necessary in reproduction for both men and women. So guys, you can take it too. Why not? It's required for steroidal hormone production, right? We need this fat in order to produce the hormones that we need. It's essential for uterine function, central nervous system, and cellular differentiation. So that's a whole nother conversation about chromosomal abnormalities. Okay. If you have had a recurring pregnancy loss or a miscarriage because of chromosomal abnormalities, I want you to get rid of your synthetic vitamins, please. replace them with whole food. I don't even want to call them vitamins, nutrients, and get on wheat germ oil. Please, I am begging you. Wheat germ oil also prevents abnormal cellular growth. Again, chromosomal abnormalities and resistance to cellular injury, right? It's the cellular injury that often leads to the autoimmune phase, right? So we want to have good cellular integrity. Vitamin E, whole food vitamin E complex also supports the thyroid, pituitary, and adrenal function. I mean, these are the keys to fertility because it's all about your endocrine system. It is also thought to stabilize your cell membranes, which we already talked about, and that's pretty cool. That's what we want, stable cell membranes. And then I included a study here about, and I'm sure it's the study I was talking about before in the 1940s about they proved that vitamin E in the form of wheat germ oil prevented miscarriage. And so many times they're able to prove that. That is the way to go. Is that my last slide? I think that was my last slide. Yes, that's my last slide. Okay. So what else do I want to say about that? I think that's it. I hope everybody's doing well. I know it's not an easy journey. It's a lot to go through. And we feel your pain. We are here to support you. I have lots of other solutions. It's all I think about is how can we help you in the shortest amount of time to achieve your goals? And remember, getting pregnant is the first step. Maintaining your pregnancy is obviously a very important part. And that's where I spend a lot of time thinking about this. So that's my website. Sign up for my 7 Fertile Secrets Guide. It's under the fertility page, and you're going to get some more information about what I think is going to help you the best. All right. So take care. Be kind to yourself so that you can be kind to others. And I look forward to sharing with you all next Wednesday.